Hi guys, it's Bill, and I'm going to make a fun dip. So I like hot dip because I just think it like brings out more flavor, and this is something I've kind of concocted based on recipes I previously made, but made some changes to, and I kind of put it all together. And we're gonna see how it works out. I know it's going to taste good, but just make sure I know what the heck I'm doing here. So I got myself 12 ounces of cream cheese. It's nice and soft. I actually let it out at room temperature and then just do the soften setting in the microwave just real quick to make sure that kind of gets it all happy. So the thing about cream cheese is we don't want to kind of stiffen up because of putting a bunch of cold stuff in. So I try to get this set up a little bit ahead of time so I didn't have to work so hard. So the first thing is I need lemon juice. They said that, usually you say like a juice of a lemon and people are always like, well, the lemon can be this big or this big. Okay, so 3 to 4 tablespoons. The lemon actually that I squoze today is a quarter cup, 4 tablespoons. So let's go ahead and get that poured in here. And I'm going to probably keep about half a tablespoon out just to see how it looks. Looking good already. As a kid I was afraid of cream cheese. It's one of those things I guess you have to. And I think I started eating it because my sister, oven interrupted me. My sister worked in a bagel shop and she used to bring home. Back then we didn't have soft cream cheese. So. Okay. So you can see, so now we kind of got it more like sour cream consistency, and that was my goal. And like I said, so literally 3 to 4 tablespoons, this is 3.5, okay? This is perfect. We just want to make sure we get everything nice and incorporated at each step to save us a lot of trouble. So the next thing I'm going to do, I need about a tablespoon of Frank's hot sauce. And I don't always say brand name stuff, but this is it is one of my favorites, and I know I have friends that say, oh no, there are others that are better. But I'm going to get a good healthy tablespoon here. I just think it has more flavor. I mean, you can use Crystal's another one that's pretty good, I like. Pure Tabasco, sometimes it's just a little overpowering. When I was a kid, that's all there was. Just to use it in chili. After my mom made it, it was too bland. I put chili powder and Tabasco in. Okay, so we've still got this really nice creamy consistency. And I want to make sure we're there because I'm going to add dry stuff and it's going to be harder and harder to do. So I got 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, and I took a bunch of scallions, and I needed the end. I was going to put the ends in a Chinese dish, so I just took the white part. And this is just where it just starts to get crazy. I got a bunch of red onion. Calls for, I usually use about a cup. It's probably a little more in here, so I'm not going to put it all in. We'll stir it up, see how it looks. If I can fit it in any possible way, I will, trust me. Still have a really good mixture going here. So I need to start getting some flavor in here. So I want a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. It adds a lot of color and it adds a lot of flavor. And, oops, I forget sometimes. Get low. Now I took a package of frozen spinach. I don't know if you ever worked with this stuff, but once you squeeze the water out, you tend to have this big mass of spinach. I'm going to start with like half, 2/3 of it, and we'll see how it looks. I want it to just be nice and pretty. I want to add that green for color, the texture. So the reason I want to make this dip was because I froze some hatch chilies that I'd roasted during the season, and I'm like, I need to get these out of the freezer. So I got them out, and I'm like, well, what can I do with them? So I experimented. You can use them in just about everything, and they taste great, so don't be afraid. Oh yeah, this looks beautiful. So speaking of hatch chilies, so what I do, and I know I've showed this in other videos, is you want to blister them on the grill. You could probably do them in the oven. I've never done it. To me, it's just so much easier to throw them on the grill. I coat them in a little olive oil, and just get that blister, flip on blister, get them in a bowl. In fact, I use this bowl. Cover it in plastic and let it sit. And it's gonna kind of steam it and separate the outer burned skin. So you just have the tender part, okay? And I cut them, these are pretty big rings, right? Because I want it to stand up. And after I get this blended in, I'll know how much more spinach or not, or what I need to do. I think so far we're doing good. So now I'm going to be a little more gentle. I want to tear up those beautiful hatch chilies. I always try and pick the hot ones. The store I get them from, they always have a big display. Hot on the left, mild on the right. But so many people fumble through them that they mix them up. Now, this is a really good mixture, but I just want to tell you, in case you get in a pickle and you're thinking it's looking like you don't have enough of the mixture to hold together, everything I make, I always think about crab cakes, that you don't want to contaminate the crab meat. You want like the crab meat and as little else as you can get in there, right? So I don't want to load this up with a bunch of cream cheese and sour cream, because it's really going to detract from it. But if you're in a pinch, what I always suggest is, for binder, you can always throw like a tablespoon of mayonnaise in, and it's gonna give you that vinegar. It's gonna kind of heighten the flavor. It's not gonna hurt it in any way. I do that in lots of my dips, and once I get the special ingredient, which is a lot of crab meat in here, I'm gonna very gently toss around. We're gonna see, and if necessary, I'll put like a tablespoon of mayonnaise in. But I think we're gonna be okay. So, got myself a cup, nice fresh. Gonna kind of break it up because I want to fold this in really, really carefully. And we're gonna have so much flavor in this. And I don't know about you, but when I go someplace and I get dip, like fish dip, and it seems like it's all, mayonnaise and whatever else, I just want the smoked fish, right? And maybe some of the wonderful flavoring they put in it. And I try not to kill it with a bunch of other stuff, So I think this is really perfect. Just making sure everything's mixed without breaking everything up. And this is the kind of thing we're going to throw in the oven 350 for half an hour. This is the kind of thing where you can, do ahead of time, get it all heated up. And then if you're having people over, I'm going to do some, you're going to think, you're going to laugh at me, right? But you would not believe how this is going to be good, how good this is going to be, is I'm going to throw some steaks on the grill. I'm going to get this out. And this is just a nice little appetizer to go, while everyone's sitting around having a glass of wine, waiting for their steak to get done. Which you don't have to wait too long, because in this house, I don't cook them steaks till they're shoe leather. But that's another story I know I've talked about. So really, we just want to see that this is just perfect. There's just enough. You see, that's all good stuff. That's all crab meat. That's all the chilies. That's all the garlic. I got a little spinach in there. And I used about 2/3 of the spinach. I want that flavor and texture, but I didn't want to overdo it. So literally this is what's left. And I could probably put it in here. In fact, maybe I'll put a little more. What the heck? You know me. I can change my mind. I really think that, probably as a kid you ate a lot of frozen spinach and you thought, oh my lord, when I grow up I'm never going to eat any more spinach, or worse, canned. But I really start to appreciate, and I do use it in a lot of things, whether it be fresh or frozen. It's really all pretty good. Okay, now I know for sure. Because I'm concerned, I want to make sure I got enough. The only time you have a problem with the dip is when the bowl is empty and people are holding the chips crying a little. I don't want that. Okay. Of course, when I'm at the helm cooking, everything's good. Alright, so I'm going to grab my bacon dish and show you how this looks. Now I actually have this really cool big round, shallow, it almost looks like a chafing dish that's made by Corning. That's really cool presentation for this because it's shallow. The only drawback I've found is that it takes up a lot of room. It's like a 10-inch, maybe 11-inch. But this is a good size container. Go ahead, you can put it on the table. Obviously make sure you use like a silicone pad. Silicone, especially because you don't want it skating all over the table, and two, you don't want the heat. Just gonna fold this right in here. Bet your sweet bippy this is going to be good. And I really like that lemon. Brings up a little acid in there. A little vinegar from the Frank's. If you like spicy things, you can go a little crazier than I did. I think the smoked paprika is going to really bring out that flavor, especially because the chilies were smoked. If you don't have smoked paprika, well, I suggest you buy some because I use it quite a bit. But if not, just use a little paprika because we just want a little color, especially if you're afraid of the hot sauce. I recommend a little, and worst case scenario, if you really don't like hot sauce, you put a little chili powder in here instead. Good to last drop. Try to get this pushed around to the edges. So if you want a better presentation, yes, you can scoop it into some nice, pretty, frilly, fancy bowl kind of thing. Or if you don't want something this big, you want something that'll fit in the center of, this is always good. This kind of size, just put some in there. And you can keep this in the oven to keep it warm. All right, anyways, got this ready. You heard my oven beep, so I'm going to put it in the oven, and I'm going to see you back in half an hour to show you how nice and bubbly and beautiful this is. See you in a minute, or 30 minutes. All right, it's been a long 30 minutes with all that great smell in the house. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, I'm just going to dish a little up to show you how I present it. Oh. This is really hot, really good. You can't imagine how great this smells. I just have to see if I can try it all. It's really hot. It doesn't look, I would say a couple little Fritos, a little bit, pass that around, everyone's happy. I think I'm going to burn my mouth, but I'm really, really determined to have to try this. This is really good. The crab meat's not overpowering, but you can really taste it. You kind of get a little afterburn on the back of your tongue from the chilies and the Franks. And you need that Franks, I think, for that vinegar, like I said. But it's not a killer. That garlic and red onion and green onions just kind of make this all happy. And I'm really glad that I put spinach in it, because I just think that's kind of like your binder, really holds it together. And let me tell you, this is absolutely fabulous. I hope you try it. Really, really love it. And give me lots of thumbs up for it. Please keep commenting and subscribing. You're all doing a great job. Appreciate it. Plus, who's going to be the person, that subscribes when it comes to the 400th person, because I'm at 396 and 4 away. Come on. Somebody can do that. Bribe your family. Anyway, because I've tried, it doesn't work. Anyway, this is really good. Really not that hard. Obviously, crab meat's kind of an expensive, frilly thing, but I wait for it to be on sale. And it's good for like a year, because it's pasteurized. But I always try and use it up because it just kills me. I look in the fridge, I say, oh yeah, look at that lemon crab meat. Don't go crazy, jumbo lump's like $30-some a pound right now, but for half that you can get just regular lump crab meat. And the difference is, you just want to fold gently so you don't mush it all up, break it all down. Anyways, thank you. Got more videos for you, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.